Hello. I'm so glad to be sharing my Friday with you. Usually we're talking on Thursdays, so when I set up the banner, I was talking about Thursday. Woo! There we go. Hair all over the place. It's a little wet, can you tell? But anyway, when I created the banner, I was still thinking it's Thursday, but it's not. It's Friday, so my banner is actually not even right. And my hair is so wet. But guess what? None of it matters because I'm here with you and we're sharing time together, talking about possibilities and what may happen when you open yourself up to exploring those possibilities. So, today was such a packed day. Oh my gosh. It was like go, 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 go. And there were things that were coming up, things were happening. There were some amazing collaborations taking place. And not just that, just even in terms of relationships, some ups and downs and figuring out what works, just like life every day for all of us, right? What happens? We are going along, whether at work or at home or with friends, wherever we are, there are always relationships and people and what the communication brings to us, what possibilities open up when we actually communicate as we are, and maybe just take the courage to drop off a mask or two, or just not put one on. Just be ourselves and show up for other humans just because we can. So, let me see. Let me see who's with me today. And if you're watching it live, awesome. If you're watching it on a replay, put in replay and let me know what your thoughts are. And if you are watching on YouTube, I would love it if you just hit that like button if you like it and share your thoughts with me either way as to what possibilities opened up for you as we were talking. So today it's going to be a little bit of a short share, I think, because it is that's just what feels right today. So, why do I want to talk about possibilities and what happens when we open ourselves up to possibilities? Hey, Matt, it's great to see you. And I'm glad to be spending my Friday evening with you. But I was thinking about, there was a talk that we had. I'm part of another mastermind. And it's a great group, but we were talking about, what's working for us, what's, yes, I bet it is, Matt. It is great to see me too. You say, yep, I'm so glad that you like your company. That's always a great step. But, actually, I gotta ask you, how are you seeing you? Are you in front of a mirror? What's going on? Because I know I can see you when I see you in person. Not right now because I cannot see you while I'm talking here. But how are you seeing you? Are you having one of those reflection moments? Or is it that you really like yourself so much? I'm not sure. But either way, you've sparked my curiosity as to how you're seeing yourself. But okay, possibilities. Okay, this conversation may be really interesting. Matt, you're using your imagination, and I love the interactive thing. Who says the shows cannot be interactive? They can totally be interactive, even though I don't have you. I should just bring you on, and then you and I can chat using words, spoken words, as opposed to written words. But hey, good imagination. Okay, possibilities. So we were talking about, what's going well in business, what's not going well, what are some of the challenges, what obstacles people are facing, what are some of the things we can share, and how would that help support them in what they're doing, right, and what I'm doing, and so on. So we all of us share some thoughts. And one of the things that somebody was sharing was about about, how important it was that they are doing what they consider to be their purpose, right? And how do you take your passion and have it be what reflects in your business, your work, as your purpose? And that was cool because there are a lot of people who are like, we don't know what our purpose is. We're still kind of exploring that. And I got to thinking, how is it that, what are some of the little clues? Because our life gives us clues, right? And when we really, and this is my passion, I love helping people connect their what their calling is, what their purpose is, to how it shows up in their business, how their business aligns with their purpose, how the business model can be designed around this intrinsic higher purpose, and how do we make it so that the values are reflected through your business, so that everything feels in alignment. Everything you do, everything you touch, all the lives that you touch with what you do in your business, they actually reflect those values, so that every day when you show up for work, every day when your team shows up for work, there is that aligned common purpose that binds you together, and also binds you to the people who use your products and services, right? So this conversation was right up my alley, because I'm like, oh, cool. So, but today what I wanted to do was hello. Hello from YouTube. Thank you. Hello, YouTube. Um, if you, yeah, I'm really bad at asking people. I'm getting better. I try to remember to ask people to subscribe or like, but I always forget as to where somebody might be watching from, because there are different places where we are actually live on. So I tend to forget, but thank you for reminding me. Yeah, but today I wanted to be a fly on the wall and just hear what people were talking about, because I wanted to practice listening a little bit better, right? Because it's so easy to jump into helping, but I wanted to take the time to listen, to to see. Yes, thank you. And share. Yes, please do share. If you think this will benefit somebody else, do share. Yeah, so today I wanted to practice that listening and really hear um what people were sharing before I jumped into sharing from my perspective, right? Because there's an expectation sometimes when people know that that's what you do, you tend to be in that space, and you're like, okay, this is what you can do and whatnot. But sometimes when you are listening to what people are saying, it actually makes what you have to add to it that much more rich, because there are nuances of every person's path, where they are on that path, that make it specific as to what your ad may mean for them, right? So anyway, so as I was listening in, I was listening to them share, some of the things that they did as a child with their family. And travel was a common thread, right? And also their family was really big in wanting and involving the kids to giving back, community service, soup kitchens, having people, in bringing them together and just sharing what they had, right? So that was also another thread that was consistent as they were growing up. And I could see that they now, as a grown up, are continuing to do that even in their own life, right? And it was kind of funny that they were thinking that, well, I don't really know what my purpose is. And yet these common threads kept on popping up as they were sharing their experiences through life. And it made me curious even more to see, sometimes because we're so close to our own situation, we don't see it, but the people around us They do. But sometimes the people around us who are really close to us are telling us what they see as our strengths in terms of what our skills are and what we can do and so on, but not necessarily what it is that we connect to on a consistent basis, and whether that can be something that can show up as something we want to do professionally. And I had somebody say, well, I really like doing this, but I don't want to do it for work because then where is my out? And that's a valid point. What is it? Is it something that you really like to do, that maybe, say, for example, you like to draw and you don't want to go in and be doing that to earn your to earn money from, because then you're doing it at work and then you're coming home, and when you want to draw for your own recharge, it's not something you want to go to. And I had to think about that too, because I'm like, that is not something that I have trouble with. But then again, it's each one of us is different. And I don't think there is a right or wrong, right? If you truly believe that it is something you don't want to do professionally, then you shouldn't. But as an entrepreneur, there are a lot of things that are consistent threads in my life, common threads that pop up, that I'm like, they're part of my passion, right? They're part of what energizes me. They're what I am passionate about. And it is something I show up and bring to, the things that I do. So what I wanted to share with you is that when you're looking to see what is my purpose, what is my calling, open yourself up to possibilities to consider, are there common threads that are showing up in my life, things I enjoy doing, some memories that I cherish that are part of my family life, or something I do consistently throughout my life, even as a child with my friends or whatever, that I really truly enjoy, but it can connect to something I want to do through my business, like in this person's case, because they enjoyed travel, because they enjoyed giving back so much. A lot of the work that they're doing now is with nonprofit. They formed a nonprofit, and it's an international nonprofit. So they get to travel, and they get to open schools, and they get to open places where people are getting educated, but they're also tied into how they earn their living from there. So it becomes this really rich environment where there is a lot of giving back, right? And their nonprofit, everything they do, like, because it's tied to that nonprofit, their passion has become their purpose, right? The books they write, it goes in to support a cause with a nonprofit. The funds they raise through collaboration with amazing like-minded entrepreneurs, whether big corporations or smaller organizations, all of that money now is tied to those organizations from a collaborative basis, to the monies that are being raised, enriching the lives of other humans, again, giving back, right? Those organizations take some of their team members and they get to go travel to these where the schools are. So again, a change of pace, travel involved, a very different environment, and getting to see the results of what you're putting in place. So what I wanted to talk about, as I promised you, was opening yourself up to possibilities. And then we talked about common threads, right? As to what are some of the things that are popping up, and then tying it back to how does it reflect then in your life and becomes a rich source of either revenue or fundraising as a nonprofit, but tying into what is passionate for you, or what is a passion for you and you're passionate about, to what becomes your purpose. But being patient and being open to seeing where it leads to, because you have now opened yourself up to possibilities, and showing up without our long held assumptions and opinions of what may or may not work. So let me see here. Matt says, I think it is more a thing about not wanting to be pushed to do what I love, rather than not wanting to get paid to do what I love. Ooh, interesting. Huh. Right. But here's a way to think about it. There's always that thought about pushing. And I tend to think of it that when you set things up in a particular way, there is less pushing and maybe there is more pulling, right? The purpose that you have set in front of you pulls you to do certain things rather than you feeling pushed, because there is a big difference, at least for me. I don't like the thought of anybody pushing me to do anything. It just puts my hackles up, puts up all kinds of resistance, even with things that I want to do. I'm like, no, I want to feel like I'm doing it of my own free will, right? I don't like to feel that, hey, somebody is just pushing me to do anything. And I don't think I'm alone in that. But when I actually feel the attraction, the magnetic pull of this amazing thing I actually want to do and bring into this world, there's no pushing required. I'm literally getting pulled towards it, and not just me, because I am so passionate about it, because I'm so inspired about it. And I share it with people who have that same thought on the same bend. They get pulled into that same direction with me because we have a common goal. So think on that as to whether is it something that you're open to testing, or is it your past experience that shows you that maybe there were certain things that just didn't work because, and you're not open to exploring, that because of the past experience. But maybe get curious about what was it in those situations that made it an undesirable pushed, experience, rather than something that, like, flip it, even on the hard days, there was just something pulling you in that bigger direction. So with that, leaving you with possibilities to explore over the weekend. Share with me what you think, what you came up with, and what common threads you explored and identified that may lead to this path from passion to what is your calling, your purpose, reflected through your business. And with that, my friend, I will leave you with the music. Give me some love on YouTube. Share this with anybody you think will actually make, this would be beneficial or helpful for, because they're on that path where this might just be the thing that puts them into identifying what is really energetic and energized for them and connect with it. So leave